Hello, everyone. This is Monsef Afker, and thank you so much for joining us in this new call of Your Divine Uniqueness. So, yeah, happy to be here with you in this space and time again. And whether on the live, you are here with us now on the live or later on the replay. And also very happy, very excited that Kelly Boyer is back on the show. She joined us before, twice, 2 times, and how to say, like when she joined us the first time, I was really, really impressed and fascinated by her abilities, like her gifts, her message. It was very inspiring, and also how she connected with like with you with the live callers and how she worked with you, and also the feedback we received later. It was really, really powerful. I really loved the experience, and yeah, always feel excited when she comes back here, and really looking forward to what will be the inspiration we will be receiving from her, and also the guidance and support she will be sharing with us here on the show. And yeah, so for those of you who are new to her, she is a healer's healer, a channel medium, recording DNA sequencing practitioner, and human design quantum energy therapy practitioner as well. And today's call is about awakening the heart's light, discover your soul's true essence, and intuitive gifts. And so, yeah, we'll be discussing that. We'll be sharing about connecting to our inner light, and also navigating the timeline, like different timelines of our life, and choosing or maybe igniting the reality or the timeline that we truly desire. And also she will guide us on a powerful activation to connect to our soul, and also intuitively, like it can help us to learn how we can locate the timeline that we desire to create or step into. So that will be very exciting, very powerful call. And also, as always, we will have a Q&A where you can ask Kelly your questions. So if you are on Zoom, you can raise your hand by pressing reactions, then raise hand. If you are on the phone, you can press star 9. And also you can type your questions on the chat boxes on Zoom and on YouTube. And yeah, so with that, Kelly, welcome back to the show. Happy to have you with us.
Hi, Monsa. Thank you so much for having me. And those kind of things that you said in the beginning. I always enjoy being on your show, and uh, I mean, it's always fun, and it is inspiring to me as well. And your callers and the people, the viewers that come on it are just so amazing. Like I said, I already felt into the energy, and the energy is just so beautiful. I am so excited for today. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And yeah, so the subject is about connecting or awakening our heart's light. And like we were discussing before the live call, there is maybe a huge calling that we feel collectively about really bringing that uniqueness, that the light within. Like we want to shift like this reality that humanity have been creating for a long time, and creating something that is more love based, and where we can really create the things that we love. And so yeah, as maybe my first question is, how do you see like energetically the shift we are going through now, and why this calling, or why is it important to awaken our own light now?
Oh, I love that. Well, for so long we've been in the energy, really the way that I see it is our splenic energy. We've been in an energy of fear. We've been in a masculine energy, of always just doing. A lot of times it's out of fear. It was that I don't say everything is out of fear, but usually when we're doing something that's so um action oriented in a very masculine way, it's a push. And usually that a push usually comes from fear. But we are actually moving into a very exciting time, which is one of the reasons why our planet is starting to vibrate. Our frequency of the planet is starting to elevate, and we're starting to vibrate at much faster speeds, because we are shifting into that feminine of nurturing, of really just nurturing who we are as spiritual beings and human beings, because that's the way that we express it through our human physical bodies. But we are finally moving into an energy where being who we are authentically and uniquely us is going to be so important, because it's it's a truly a different kind of frequency. It's really about love. Like, and I'm when I mean love, I'm not talking about the, oh, I love you. I'm talking about the real unconditional love that's coming forward. um so and I've gotten this message so much, just to share a little bit with other people. So I've been stepping more and more into my starseed side of who and where I came from. And in case nobody knows, or if you haven't seen my website, I'm a Hadarian starseed. And that really like, we're all about like divine love, really stepping into the essence of who you are, which comes from your soul. Sharing that message that whatever and whoever you are is perfect, and that you have everything that you need, and everything that you have is 100% unique to you. Nobody else will have exactly how you use your gifts. And when I talk about gifts, I'm going to talk about like gifts all the way around. It could be like just the way you interact with people, how you do your job, or, if you are a healer or an activator or whatever it is that you want to step into. You and you alone are the only ones. You are the only one that does it in that unique, special way. And so now that we're moving into this time of really, I mean, genuinely love and light, it's really important that we start connecting to who we are, knowing ourselves, and being okay with allowing whatever expression that we want to express that come forward. Um, and in that expression, believe it or not, it's always inspiring for other people. Whether you're just having a conversation with somebody and you're coming from your authentic soul essence, you are connecting with their soul essence, and they're feeling that and they're experiencing that. And in that energy, you are helping them evolve and become what they desire to be. So I think it's a very exciting time. I think it's very exciting that we do get to do that here on Earth, where we get to experience anything and everything that we want. And we get to make choices on how we want to express that. So I'm very, very excited. I'm
Yeah.
all about the heart space.
uh, Wonderful. And so I love that introduction and the message you shared. And it really feels exciting. It feels expanding, and there is more freedom in that. And also, like the other part, like of the fears that we are having, because we are stepping into maybe something we are not used to it a lot in the past. And the fears is, how can we manage the 3D responsibilities, and the like how the 3D reality is created. Is there we need to support that, to support maybe our family if we are responsible of that. And when we start in general, like sharing our lights, the first idea we get is we need to be in service, we need to share a message or something. And also at the same time we think about supporting ourselves. So how can we move into that new timeline with more trust and more ease?
Yeah, I'm like, wow, there's a lot in that. So, when we come from our heart space, and we really connect on a daily basis in with our when I talk about our heart, your heart space, I'm really talking about the essence of our soul, which is who we are. So every time that we connect into that and we live from that space, and the moment that we choose to live from that space, we are living in our heart service. And so when we have, you talked about like our like families, or if we're talking about like people that we work with our jobs and our friends, or people that we interact with, the grocery clerk. When we are connecting with that, when we connect with that space, and we trust whatever is coming forward in that space, then it really does have a rippled out effect. The frequency, we are always projecting frequencies. Just like we're always projecting them, we are also taking the projections on from others. So the more that we are connected with the essence of our soul in that heart space, the stronger, and I'm going to say higher vibratory frequencies we put out. So we're so you know as we're moving forward, I'm going to share a worry that I had was, oh my gosh, as I continue to move forward, will I eventually, because we'll start vibrating so high that those that are not vibrating as high as us, um, they may not even be in our reality anymore. And so I kind of started, I'm not gonna lie, I started worrying because I really want my son to come with me. I mean, I love that guy. And I really got nervous about that. But then when I connected with my guides, and I was talking about my whole team, because I got a big one, and honestly started being openly sharing my worry, they reminded me to go reconnect back into my soul, because even healers sometimes separate, to go back in there and then to look at what that timeline would look like. And that was where my heart really came to ease, because I knew that as long as I'm standing in my truth and radiating that out and projecting that out, that all of those that I love will also experience those same frequencies. And a lot of times when you're sending out those frequencies of love, which is the highest vibration you can be, I'll, people's souls will connect to that, and they will want to elevate up. They'll want to connect into that. So it was, like I said, today I always love to talk about timelines, because we're always creating our reality. And that's really what part of this movement into this new 5D that we're moving into is all about, and realizing that we do have control over the reality that we create. That it is not the circumstances that matter. It's the way of how we want to be that matters. And that's really what is constantly shaping our reality. And when you're out of alignment, when your reality is mirroring back to you, that things aren't going the way you want them to. when a lot of times when people talk about, well, I'm waiting for my reality to change like I have changed, that's the wrong mindset to have. You want to change inside, and then be patient and allow your reality. Honestly, it has to catch up, because there's a time lapse, right? We have a bit of a time lapse before it starts to catch up. And then just enjoy as you start to see the synchronicities start to align with who you are. And really, every time that happens, it really is all about gratitude and excitement. For me, it's excitement. My gratitude is in my excitement. So when I see something, when I decide to make that shift, and I'll talk a little bit about making that shift through timeline creation. When you make that shift and then you let it go and you patiently allow, everything to align, it really are, like I said, our external world is our mirror. And when things start to synchronize, I get so excited. I'm like, yes, it's happening. So, we live in, we are very multi-dimensional beings, and living in that space is very exciting and it is very fun. And if we are open and receptive to the information that oftentimes does get mirrored back to us, it really is just a learning opportunity for us with our own experiences of how to get back into alignment. So to kind of bring that around to the 3D, and how do we support our families? The best way to support your family is to support yourself first, and then allow that frequency to just connect with their soul. And then you'll watch them. They might not 100% change on how you want them to, but they shouldn't change how you want them to. They need to change how they are supposed to, and they need to change. And it'll start to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that, because many times we try maybe we try to change other people because we want them to be the exact way that we expect. But it's how do you say? Like for me, I see it like the more we have trust in ourselves, we have more love to ourselves. The more we have, we are more free from that. We have less need of making or changing people or making them react in a certain way, because it's yeah, we feel like more enough just being who we are.
Yeah, and we the truth of the matter is we can't change anyone. We're only truthfully we're only responsible for ourselves. And so if there's a reflection that they're showing you, if they're acting in a way that I'm going to say is less desirable than what you want, you also have to realize that even the people, or I like to call them the players that we have in our lives, they're reflecting back to us something that we are feeling inside. It truly is something about us. Oftentimes we make the comment of, oh, I always say my mom, because for a long time I blame my mom. So she comes up all the time. I'm like, oh, I'm the reason that I'm this way is because my mom did this to me. And that couldn't be further from the truth. She's just mirroring something that is in me that I need to focus on, that I need to heal, that I need to shift and change so that I can, again, create the timeline or the reality that I want reflecting back to me. So it really is about our own accountability and our own responsibility that we really need to focus on. So the moment that we go into blaming or, it really is victimization is what we fall into. The moment that we fall into that should really spike your awareness to go, wait a minute, something is being reflected and I need to focus on that. And that, I'm like I said, I love timelines. I'm all about timelines because one of the ways that I really work moment to moment to moment. I know and I trust that we are shifting timelines. We're shifting and we're changing all the time. Like we change like a billion times a second and we don't even realize that because we're here to have our human brain so we can focus on one thing. But when you expand that and you understand the multidimensionality that we truly have, we are shifting and changing like in less than a second. So one of the ways that I oftentimes work, like I am very intuitive, but when I'm working with somebody or even when we're doing healing, I connect in with your infinite amount of timelines. And what people don't realize is in the background, I'm bouncing from timeline to timeline to timeline that you have so I can see what it is that you need to bring forward in this moment. And again, we're always changing. So what you need in this moment, it could very well be a week from now that you need something else. But knowing knowing that you have the power to be able to do that yourself is I'm going to say it's like a whole nother level once you realize like, hey, I don't like this, but let me check out this timeline that maybe is on the left and see if that's more suitable of what I want my reality to be. And truthfully, everybody can do it. It takes focus, but everyone can do it. So if anybody's curious as how I'm working, I'm really working in the background and playing in your timelines just like you're playing in them too. So it's a lot of fun. I mean,
Yeah,
I do it for fun to entertain myself, just to see what's out there, not other people's, my own when I'm alone. So
yeah,
um yeah,
yeah.
it's so
And yeah, I love that. I also noticed in my own personal life how when I shift timelines, how people can really shift as well. And when I like try to and see what's happening in the reality, it really reflects back what's happening within me. And this it's like what you mentioned earlier. And yeah, it's so it's like we understand that it's reality. It's not like really fixed. It's more like malleable. It's the right word.
yeah.
So it's more about how we feel within. It's more about who we are, and then like you said, it will catch up the reality. And so yeah, let's talk a little bit about the timeline creation or shifting. How can
Beautiful.
we
Oh,
do that?
yes, let's do that. Okay. So so when we talk about timeline shifting, it really is about it's about, you guys have heard the expression where your focus goes, it is where the energy grows. And that's really the truth. So when we're talking about timeline shifting, we're really going into the essence. And I always recommend when you're first starting out and learning this to always go into your heart space, into that essence. The more you practice doing that, the quicker you drop into there. So once you get really good at that, you can shift timelines like crazy, to be honest. It's so much fun. So when we go into that heart space and we connect with our soul essence, that's really when we can start calling forward those frequencies and that energy to really connect with and to see, I'm going to say see, sense, feel, however you experience it, because we're all going to experience it different, that you can pull it forward. Now, a lot of times people, when they're doing this, they say, oh my gosh, I think I'm in my imagination. Well, yes, it is fun to play in your imagination, but I also don't recommend calling it your imagination, because that also then puts an element or an intent of separation. And our timelines that we're playing in are really, because as you know, past, present, and future are happening all the time. So even when we talk about past lifetimes, future timelines, or, if we're just talking about what's going to happen in an hour, all of that is already happening. So realistically, we are always in a constant state of shifting into our parallel timelines. That's really what they are. So when we go into that heart space, and let's say, I'll use the example of, man, I really need this job. Because we all experience that, right? You're right. Oh, I really want this job, or I really want to create a healing business. We can actually, when we drop into our heart space and we then start calling that frequency forward and we step into it, we could do a lot of visualizing. We could do a lot of what are you hearing? What are you feeling? Most importantly, it's all about feeling, right? But even as you create all of that, and then you allow yourself to embody those frequencies, guess what you've already done? You've already stepped into that timeline. But here's the thing where people get a little bit hung up on that is that they step into that timeline, it feels really good. They let all the stuff that they created go, because that's what we have to do. We only hold on to the frequencies. We believe that now that I'm on this timeline, everything that I imagine or I expected has to happen right now, right away. And again, we have to remember, when we are creating in that frequency, there is no time space continuum. The moment that we do step back into our human form, we have to deal with linear time. So we have to allow those frequencies to then line up with that linear time. But then again, it goes back to whatever you want reflected on the outside has to be reflected in the inside. So the accountability with that is holding ourselves accountable to stay in those frequencies and then to watch them unfold. Because I'm going to tell you, the way that you imagined it or expected it to unfold, it's not going to, because the universe, all it knows is love and all it knows is yes. So if you tell the universe, I want these frequencies, it's going to return it in kind and with so much more love and so much, honestly, so much better than you can ever imagine. Even sitting here in this call from moment to moment, because I do see timelines all the time, I'm seeing the timelines of all of us switching nonstop. And it's all about viewpoints too. When we're really talking about timelines, we're talking about different points of view. Same moment, different points of view is what it is. Because again, everything is happening simultaneously. So if I want that job, I have that job. You can't have it. Like, let me go back to this because this is an important thing. If you have an opportunity, you see an opportunity, you sense an opportunity, you're saying, I want that opportunity, it has been already created within your multidimensionality. You wouldn't know if you wanted it if it wasn't in there, because it's null and void. It's non-existent. We're not aware of the stuff that is non-existent. So we cannot bring that to us. So we need to remember that also when we are creating. If I see myself And I'm not gonna lie, I see myself one day flying on a private jet to, to really speak and share the messaging of what it means to be a spiritual being. If I can see, sense, and feel those frequencies, most importantly, feel those frequencies, it means that it's created in my timeline. Does it mean that I'm going to have it in like the next week? Maybe not, but I can feel into that and I can start bringing that closer to me. And that's the beautiful thing about just being who we are multidimensionally. And, but I'm going to go back to coming inside, right? We have to authentically be and accept who we are. And that is, if anybody leaves here, like that's the thing I want all of you to understand, is that every day, if you can connect to who you authentically are, again, you can create the reality that you want. And you don't have to sit here and go, okay, what timeline do I want? You just say, oh my gosh, what is it that I want? What is it that I feel so aligned with? And then just be patient, allow it to come. Because again, we're on linear time. We gotta go with the clock of linear time.
Yeah, absolutely. I really love that. And as you were sharing that, like another question came to my mind is that sometimes when we try to imagine or to feel into something we desire to create, we can feel resistance toward it. So what can be a good practice for us in that kind of situations?
Okay, I love it. I do love when resistance comes up, because resistance is an opportunity for growth into becoming who we truly are. So if you're, even if you're sitting there and you're daydreaming, is what I'm going to call it. You're daydreaming and you're looking at this thing from all different viewpoints of how you want it to become. And then you run into something and you're like, wait a minute, I feel this resistance. I feel like I can't move any further. The best question to always ask: what do I believe is true about my relationship to this situation that I'm currently reacting to? What is it that I'm believing about myself? Because our beliefs will always continue to perpetuate. So even if we try to say we want the timeline about the job, and then all of a sudden we're wanting, the timeline to have a better relationship with our spouse, and the resistance comes up, it's something that we're believing about ourselves in that particular situation. Everything always comes back to us, and we have to remember that. Again, everything is about us, and everything that triggers us is a reflection of what's going on. So all you need to do is stop, ask that question, and I just allow your body, I'm going to say your mind, body, and soul, to just give you the information, and don't negate it. So if something comes up and you're like, well, wait a minute, and the moment you say wait a minute, you're creating more resistance to it. Just let it come up and just allow it to come into your awareness. A lot of times, the moment that it comes up into our awareness and we go, oh, that's like, I don't want to believe that. Well, now at the moment you say, I don't want to believe that, you now have a choice that you can make. Your choice is that you can continue to believe that and continue to be in that resistance, or you can make the choice of saying, well, I'm not going to believe that about myself anymore. I know that that's not my truth. And the moment that you accept that as being your truth, that it's not your truth, right? You'll feel that resistance start to crumble and dissipate. And then you can keep moving forward. Even in our timelines, a lot of times people are like, I want to be on this timeline because this timeline I'm on is really challenging. Well, I hate to tell you this, even if you jump to the other timeline, you're going to have challenges too. We wrote that into our incarnation to have these challenges so that we have these lessons and these experiences for us to grow. New timeline, just new challenges. We're just gonna, as much as you don't use timeline jumping to avoid what it is that you really need to heal and work on, because that's not what it's designed for. It's designed to bring forward the things that you desire and you need. So, just a word of caution. If you're jumping timelines to avoid something, guess what? The more you jump timelines, those frequencies of what you need to heal, are going to come up stronger and more powerful, and nobody wants that.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And yeah, we can see that when the same pattern is happening again and again.
Mhm.
And when we start looking in the past, what the choices we made, it was more about running away from that, from those triggers. And yeah, I really love what you the message you shared, because like in the end, like following our passion, it's really important because it's like a accelerator for us to really embody our heart's light. And
Yes.
and many times we don't give importance to our passions because we believe it's not important, or we don't know that it's a key for our freedom and also to bring more of our true power. And it's yeah, I mean
So I would love to can I comment on
yes,
what you
yes,
just
yeah,
said? I love the fact that you talked about our passion because oftentimes we think that the reason that we came here, and I'm going to talk about purpose, right? Because a lot of times when I work with people, they're like, I want to find the timeline where I'm fulfilling my purpose. And then if people could see what I see, they're all lighting up. Like all your timelines are lighting up because our purpose is really authentically being ourselves. And when we find something that we are passionate about or excited about, that is our way of expressing the purpose of who we are. That is our soul getting excited and saying and telling us and giving us that nudge that's saying, yes, keep moving into that direction. And so if you got like if you're out there and you're looking for your purpose, whatever lights your fire up, that's part of what your purpose is. You can take it as far as you can go with it. Because when you are on that timeline of following your passion, it really feels like there is no time, no space, nothing. You are in the flow of who you are. And that's the best space to be because you're in a flow of curiosity, you're in a flow of openness, you truly are in a flow of love. And even if you take it as far as it can go, and when you get to that point, feel into it again, or maybe there's something else that then lights your fire. I always love that term, to light your fire. Maybe there's something else that lights your fire. Now that's the new direction of your purpose that you're supposed to go. And it's okay. It may be a course correct. It may be something that you kind of just need to take a step over a little bit to keep going with the same passion. Or maybe it's an entirely different passion. But you know what? Who cares? If you're living in your passion, you are living in your authentic being, and just follow it. And it doesn't have to be this, oh my gosh, hit me over the head, I'm so passionate about it. If you have just the slightest excitement about it, take it and run with it. Like a lot of times, I used to always think, oh, my purpose is to come here is to be an intuitive healer. Like I'm supposed to be an intuitive healer. No, that's an expression of what my soul is. I'm also a mother because I passionately love being a mother. I also love to do paint by numbers. So I'm very passionate about paint by numbers. And all of that is an expression of my authentic being. So every moment that I'm in that moment, I'm living that passion. And that's that's such the cool thing about being multidimensional. We can move from timeline to timeline to timeline as much as we want. It's just, and that is part of it. When we find that passion, truthfully, that's our time, one of the timelines that's lighting up. And the reason we're so passionate about it is because our frequencies are connecting to it. And it's literally screaming, come this way. And all we have to do is just choose, because everything is a choice, choose to step on it. And once we step on that timeline, man, now we're on it and some cool things can happen. We can be in that flow. We can be in that heart space of love, just really enjoying life. And then again, allowing the linear time to catch up so that our outer world is reflecting what our inner world is. And it is really beautiful.
yeah, yeah. It makes life much more fun. And like once we step into that timeline, it's like maybe our passion or our first passion will open doors to much more others. And I've seen that it's in my life, like how it really like brought opportunities and experiences that I never thought were possible before. And it's yeah, I mean, it really, it like we start feeling alive. We are not surviving, but we are really living our life.
Yes, yes, I
Yeah.
love that. That is absolutely true. And so, I do want to talk about intuitive gifts.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
all of us have intuitive gifts. As much as, a lot of times people are like, I don't have any gifts, or they're like, I need all my gifts to turn on. Well, you know what? Your gifts are already turned on. But the best way to figure out how your gifts work, again, is going into that heart space, really stepping into the love and light of who you are, and then exploring the different timelines of how your gifts work. How my gifts work are not going to be like how yours are, Monsef. Like mine are unique to me, and I had to do exploring to figure that out. The key to it is not overcomplicating it and being accepting of what comes forward. Like for example, I'm going to use my friend. She's probably going to kill me for doing this, but I'm going to use her example. For years, all she told me is, I just want to know what my gifts are. I really just want to know what my gifts are. And I'm like, you're living in your gifts every single day. And she didn't see it because she believed that her gifts had to be like all the other, psychics, mediums, intuitives, healers, energy workers. They have to be exactly like that. And that's not true. My friend has this incredible gift of conversation. And when you talk to her, no matter what it is you're talking to her about, whether, you're talking about the weather or whether you're talking about something that's very, that you need to really get off your chest, every single word that comes out of her mouth is inspiring, it's motivating, it's supporting you, it's encouraging, and that is her gift. I know that anytime that I call it a pick me up. I call her and I just tell her, I'm like, I need a pick me up. Let's just have a conversation. And like I said, even if we're talking about the weather or we're talking about the goofy things that our kids have done, I leave that conversation so heart filled with so much love, so inspired. And it really makes me want to go out and like conquer the day. But that is her gift. you know, Other people's gifts. And I'm pointing this out because I feel it's really important that people understand that even in like if we have like a mainstream job, maybe your gift is, maybe you work in behavioral health and your gift is just being that supportive listener where you're holding that container to allow people to share freely and safely what it is they need to share. So we all have gifts, they're all different, and I'm going to tell you, when you are in that space of what you're doing, you're already intuitively connecting into your gifts and your abilities. You're just not aware of it, and that's something that is so beautiful. Like, I really want all of you to understand on this call that you are these magnificent radiant beings, because it's impossible to not radiate the light that is in your soul, and your soul has everything that you need. It's here to support you along with your spirit team. And whatever it is that you're doing, even if you love cooking, like cooking is an intuitive gift. And when you're in that and you're in your flow, you're automatically using your intuition. But again, we have to know who we are. So we've got to go back to that heart space. Like we've got to go into that heart space and connect with your soul. You've got to connect with the love that you are, so that you can learn to love yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And yeah, once we have that love for ourselves, like we start approaching things much more differently. Like we have more trust, more confidence, and yeah, it's like it's easier to flow with things and have confidence that we are worth creating what we desire. Um, yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
And do you feel it's the right time for the activation?
Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to do this. My guys are super excited about this too, just so you know.
Yeah.
They woke me up bright and early this morning to do this. But I want to do the activation that I want to do is I really want to bring you guys into your soul essence. I want you to let go of any expectations of what that is supposed to be like, and we'll set that intention. I also want to bring forward all of the help that I can feel all around us ready to do this. But I also want to just kind of let you guys play with your own timeline while you're in there, while you're experiencing that, and just notice how you work. Don't question it. You know, if it's a knowing, guess what? That's a gift that you have. Go with it. Don't try to be like, I have to clairvoyantly see it. Don't do that. Don't force it. Just let it flow. And so, yeah, if everybody can just close your eyes, you can put your hand on your heart space if you want. That's how I love to connect. I love to feel the warmth of it. And what I want you to do is we're just going to take one really deep breath in, as pulling that energy as far down as you can go. And then just hold it for one, two, and then just release. Nice, slow, steady. And we're going to use that breath with the intent that we're going to clear any beliefs, expectations of how we, as beautiful, spiritual, loving light beings, connect with the essence of our soul. And now, what I want you to do is, I just want you to focus on your breathing. I don't want you to do anything special. I'm already clearing for everyone, so I apologize if you see me yawn, burp, or cough. But I can feel the energy already flowing, and my beautiful spirit team already going to work cleaning up whatever needs to be cleared and dissolved in all of you, so we can make space for this beautiful activation. And so as you continue to just focus on your breathing, we're just going to call for the Sephram, the Elohim. We're calling for the archangels. We're going to call forward, oh, I can feel my whole Hadarian family here. I can feel the Polarian family here. They're here to help expand our heart space, to bring in a flooding of love, I was just told. I just want everybody to just continue to breathe. And as you breathe, I want you to recognize that this is your life force energy. The way that you breathe in and out is your natural rhythm that you have, not only spiritually, but in your human form. And this rhythm is unique to you and only you. And as you continue to focus on your breathing, you'll notice that it'll naturally begin to slow down. You'll breathe a little bit deeper, connecting more and more into the essence of your being. And now what I want you to do is I want you to connect that breath to your heartbeat. Your heartbeat is your life force. It is the electromagnetic energy that you put out into the world. It is the frequencies of your own unique being. And I want you to feel that. I want you to connect with that. And I want you to allow your breathing to synchronize with that. It doesn't mean that your breathing and your heart has to beat at the same time, but I want you to feel the flow of the frequencies of that synchronization. Feel how beautiful that is. And now we are slowly moving into our soul essence. Now what I want you to do is I do want you to take a deep breath in and out. And as you do, I want you to see, sense, feel yourself just stepping into your heart space. And as you step into your heart space, we set the intent that we are stepping into the essence of our soul. With each breath that you take, that essence just expands further and further out, filling your entire body. And with the next breath in and out, it's filling out your entire energy field, expanding your soul. And with each expansion, more love and light enters into that energy, into those frequencies. And the next breath in and out, we're expanding into the room that you're in. And then next out into your neighborhood, expanding out. And with each breath, with the intent, we're just going to expand out further and further into the universe. And into the universe that our universe is in. knowing that there are no bounds to our expansion. And as you bring your awareness back into your heart space, trusting that you are as expanded as you need to be, as expanded as perfectly as you can be, coming into your heart space and connecting with that energy. I want you to feel the lightness, feel the expansion. But most importantly, ooh, I just felt everybody just connect with that. Ooh, hold on a second. I just need a little breath here to just even out that energy that just came in. Beautiful. All right. So most importantly, as you connect with your soul essence, I want you to ask your soul to just allow the love that you are and the love that it has for you, that there is no separation, that it is only oneness. And I want you to feel that warmth. We're just going to allow the heart Darians to bring warmth of love into your heart space. And you may feel this as more expansion. You may feel this beautiful, warm energy just come over your entire being. Ooh, I can feel it that somebody is feeling it as like little tingles, like little sparks. This is beautiful. And I want you to just sit there and we're just going to sit in this moment just for a few minutes in silence. I just want you to be curious about it. Let your curiosity just flow, connecting and flowing with your soul. And as you connect with your soul, we're going to bring forward and really allow those light codes to just radiate within your soul. And just know that each and every one of us, each and every one of you has your own unique light codes. My codes are not your codes. Your codes are not my codes. These are all just for you. And as we bring forward and we ask the Elohim to activate those light codes, we bring them forward. We make them more potent within your beautiful bodies, within your beautiful spirit being. And we ask that these light codes begin to heighten and vibrate those frequencies that are within your soul to even higher vibrational frequencies, activating, recoding, resequencing, so that you become a higher vibrational being. And now in this space, we all have needs, we all have desires. We all sit there and sometimes say, I really wish that I could, or I really wish that I could be like, or I really wish that I was. And all of those wishes are our desires and our needs. And what I want you to do right now is I want you to just bring forward a desire or need that you are wanting in this very moment. And as you bring that forward, bringing it into your awareness, bringing it into your awareness, here's what I want you to do, because sometimes just jumping into the timeline right away can be rather difficult. So, what I want you to do is, I want you to think about that wish, that desire, that need. I want you to imagine that you're already into the future with it and you're thinking about it as if it was a memory, something that you've already done, something that you've already completed. And I want you to really feel into the frequencies of that completion, of already have done it, knowing that you already brought it into existence. I want you to feel that. And remember, it's just a memory for right now. It's a memory that you have. So I want you to feel the joy in it. I want you to feel the excitement. I want you to feel even the adrenaline that you may feel as you are creating, as you created it. And now it is true. It is something that is true. It is something that is in your life. It is your reality and experience that you had. And as you experience that and you play it back, maybe you're playing it back of how it all happened and how it all came into fruition. Feeling that. And every time we connect with those frequencies, we are activating those light codes more and more, opening up those beautiful DNA strands that are connected to those frequencies, filling the crystalline energy with those light codes that are within your DNA, allowing it to just be what it is, be that reality as you step into that memory. And I just want you to sit in there, however you're experiencing it. Maybe you know, maybe you feel it, maybe you see it, maybe you hear it. However it is that you're experiencing it, I want you to know in this moment that that is your intuitive gifts. You're connecting into your intuitive gifts. And if you ever want to know how your intuition works, you go into that heart space, into your soul, and allow it to flow and just be. I just want you to keep experiencing that memory as we continue to activate and raise your vibration. And we ask the Archangel Raphael to clear out any resistance, healing, moving, transmuting, as we step into that, to the highest potential of who we are in that way of being. And I'm going to ask Archangel Sandalphon to take any of that resistance. We're going to ask him to place it into Mother Earth, into Mother Gaia, asking Mother Gaia's help and her energy to help transmute, dissolve, and send that into the energy, the loving energy of the earth. Moving that resistance. And maybe in that resistance, there are things that are coming up in your awareness. I don't want you to judge them. Just trust them as we continue to move them out, as they move in your awareness, moving them to the forefront and moving them out, coming to them, through them, and beyond them. Beautiful. And now, finally, what I want everyone to do is to take that memory, and I want you, as if you see, sense, or feel yourself stepping into that memory. And I want you to see it from your eyes, not from like a bystander or an observer. I want you to really be the observer, stepping into that timeline, into that memory. That will no longer be a memory, but we are now creating the reality of it, stepping into that. And just as you were seeing it as a memory and all of those events that were happening, I want you now to experience them. I want you to feel them as if you were doing them. Feel them as if you were feeling them. And I want you to be in that experience, allowing that experience to flow through you. And whether it is step by step or even if it's jumping around, it doesn't matter. All that matters is that each moment that you experience within that timeline, that you are taking in those frequencies and just spending a moment in that part of your timeline, breathing in the embodiment of those frequencies, allowing them to fill each and every cell of your body, moving through your blood, moving through your muscles, through the fascia, through the tendons, through the ligaments, through the nerves, embodying each and every single one of those moments, feeling it, asking the intensity of that feeling to heighten so you can really bring in those frequencies of that wish and desire. Bringing that in. Just going to give you a moment to allow this beautiful frequency of this timeline to unfold. Beautiful. And now again, through your own eyes, I want you to see, sense, feel, or know the love that the universe has created. The universe has brought these frequencies to you. Again, the universe is loving. It is always saying yes to whatever it is that we are asking for. And I want you to feel this love and allow this love to really connect with every fiber of your being, connecting with everything that is you. You are your soul. You are not separate. You are one, allowing all of this oneness to come in to that heart space, into your heart space, filling it and expanding it. Beautiful. All right. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to see, sense, and feel as if you are in a room and this room has bare walls. There is nothing on the walls. It is completely neutral. The room is completely neutral. The only thing that is in the room is maybe it's a chair. Maybe you've got a lazy boy in there. Maybe it's a nice cushy beanbag. It doesn't matter. I want you to see, sense, feel, or know yourself sitting in whatever chair, beanbag, lazy boy, couch that you have in there. And as you come into that space, I want you to go into neutrality. We are releasing any memories. We are releasing any expectations. We are releasing anything that would cause us to create barriers into bringing forward the frequencies of this new timeline that we have stepped into. And as we sit in that neutrality of releasing all of that, I want you to take a deep breath in. And all I want you to do is ask your soul to show you again the frequencies of this timeline where your wishes and desires and needs are on. And I want you to feel as that enters into your heart space. And the more that you allow it in and you accept it without expectations or conditions, feel it grow. Feel it expand in your heart space. Feel it begin to really connect with the frequencies of that timeline, holding them, supporting them, caressing them. And it is here that we now will go back into our heart space. And I want you to bring your awareness back into your heart space. And with a deep breath in, I want you to push this energy all the way down your body, all the way down through the bottoms of your feet into Mother Earth. And as we ground this energy into Mother Earth's crystalline matrix, we ask for her support. We ask for her encouragement. We ask for her nurturement to continue to allow us all to connect with these frequencies of this timeline so that we can then bring them into fruition sooner rather than later, and being open to how it reflects back into our physical reality, showing us that we are on the right path and in the flow, also showing us when we are a little bit out of alignment so that we can choose to bring these frequencies back into our soul, into the heart space, so that we can continue to stay in alignment with the flow of who we authentically are. And we thank Mother Earth for her participation in this, for agreeing to be a participant in our own evolution and our own growth and our development as not only physical beings, but most importantly, as spiritual beings. And from here, we will thank our soul. We will set the intent that from here in this day forward, that we will allow our soul the freedom of its fullest expression to follow its passion, which would be our passion, to the fullest and highest extent, and that we can enjoy each and every moment in each and every day to our highest and fullest potential. And with a deep breath in and out, when you are ready, you may come back into your body, come back into the room that you are in. Go ahead and just open your eyes. And as you slowly open your eyes, just feel that love that all of you have for each other and yourselves. It's amazing. Ooh. And I just want to thank everybody for allowing me to experience all of you while we do this. Each and every one of you has such a magnificent radiance and soul, and I am so grateful for you allowing me to also be part of your soul experience. So thank you.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you so much, Kelly. Yeah, I was smiling during the activation because the energy was very very beautiful, very flowing, and when imagining like the desire I want to create. So thank you very much, and also everyone would.
I'm like, you're welcome. Everybody, you're on your timeline now. Sorry.
And yeah, Katie, Charlotte, thank you so much. Nat, thank you. Jason, thank you. Kim, thank you. Ellen, emojis like a rose, hearts, and smiley. Stefan, thank you. Really intense. Danielle, beautiful activation. Yeah, thank you, everyone. And we will start taking questions in a little bit, in a couple of minutes. And before that, Kelly, I would love if you can tell us about the two one-on-one sessions that you are offering us and what our audience can expect from working with you. And I invite everyone to visit the page yourdivineuniqueness.com/Kelly, yourdivineuniqueness.com/Kelly, Kelly. Or you can click on the special offer button, which is on the live event page, later on the replay page. The link also on YouTube video description and the chat boxes on Zoom and YouTube. So yeah, Kelly, can you please tell us about the sessions?
Yes. So the first thing that I'm offering is a goal. It's the golden light activation and meditation. The reason that I want to gift this to you is because I know, I know that part of my passion and my purpose is to really start helping activate, I'm going to tell you, not only our human DNA, but also the galactic DNA that we have. We need to start infusing that together so that we can really reach higher vibrations. And I'm like my Hadarian family. I love them so much with the stuff that they've just been giving me. It's been so beautiful and so powerful. And it really is to help infuse that together so that you can really step into that authentic being that you're wanting to become with higher frequencies, higher vibration, so that, today we did our activation, but we can move to that point where we can I'm going to say, just get there. We don't have to, go through all of this. And that's part of what I'll be doing is I will be sending a lot of source codes. I'm talking directly from source into your energy field, and we'll use that to heal and to really activate I'm going to say your entire being, because we, again, on every multi-dimension that you live and that you experience. The other gift that I'm giving is it's a 30-minute intuitive session with me. The reason I love to give this is because I love to do intuitive sessions, and I love to give those to people. So if you need help, if you're looking for insight, if you're looking for guidance on whatever it is that you're needing, I would love to gift that to you, because I just love to connect and be within your soul energy and to really give you the information that your soul is trying to speak to you. And that's really where that's coming from is, we're having a conversation with your soul, and we're going to allow your soul direct you in the perfect direction that you need to go. So that's what I'm gifting today. I'm so excited to connect with people, to connect with all of you. Even more so than what we did today. So, and thank you. Thank you again, everyone.
Thanks to you, Kelly. Yeah, very, very, always an honor to share your work with our audience, and very happy that you are offering the sessions and sharing your time with our audience to work one-on-one with you, because like it can be very, very helpful, and having that personalized and private guidance on personal aspects can be very, very helpful, especially from someone who can hold safe space and also can give very very accurate, intuitive guidance, and also energy and guidance can bring us more clarity and support in our path and in creating the timeline we want to experience. So yeah, thank you very much, Kelly. And again, everyone, I highly recommend that you sign up for one of these two sessions. And also we have this the option to sign up for both on the page yourdivineuniqueness.com/Kelly, yourdivineuniqueness.com/Kelly, Kelly. Or you can click on the special offer button, which is on the live events page, later on the replay page. The link also on YouTube video description and the chat boxes on Zoom and on YouTube. And yeah, so let's start taking questions. So reminder, everyone, if you are on Zoom, you can raise your hand by pressing reactions, then raise hand. If you are on the phone, you can raise your hand by pressing *9. And also you can type your questions on the chat boxes on Zoom and on YouTube. Ellen, she wrote a big heartfelt thank you, Kelly and Monsef, so inspiring. Let's see. Pamela, can you please unmute yourself? Pamela?
Oh,
Yes.
hi.
Hi.
Hi, Kelly. So I just wanted to say, after our last session, things got more complicated because I had to get a very ancient and very complicated entity removed, which put me in energetic hibernation for about 6, 7 weeks until basically this week. But I'm still challenged in connecting to spirit, even though I'm clear of the entity which was blocking it.
So so are you asking for guidance on how to keep moving forward in that connection?
Yeah, just basically, I just don't understand why when it's gone now, because I do know it was blocking me. It was blocking my third eye and it was blocking my crown chakra.
So
But yeah,
okay. What I'm getting is that, in all honesty, it is a belief that you have. So you've been able to clear out that. I think the last time, if I recall, it was kind of like stagnant energy that was being caught in there. Well, now you've opened it out sorry, I'm getting some information. I'm trying and not to have it flood in, which you cleared. I'm going to say you kind of cleared out all of the junk. Now it's making way for you to really go back in and be like, and like, it is a belief and and you keep saying it. So what's happening is this belief it's almost like you're kind of, cementing this belief in of, I can't connect to spirit. So what needs to come in, and it's probably like, and unfortunately we don't have time today, but it's to do some healing work of your belief of why I can't connect to spirit. Because truthfully, when I feel into your energy, you're connecting with spirit every day. You really truly are. Even in that hibernation that you had that 6, 7 weeks of really just being, sometimes just being is connecting. And so you're going to have another hibernation that's coming up, by the way. So in this moment of when you're having this hibernation, don't force it, because a lot of times what also solidifies the belief is when we're forcing it, when we're forcing and going, well, I can't connect, so I'm going to force myself to connect. Just sitting in that heart space will begin to allow, we're literally giving our soul permission to open up. So I'm going to encourage you to change the perspective, or even change your words of, I'm still not able to connect. Start saying, okay, I know that I can connect. Now I'm open to experiencing that. So, you can see clairvoyantly, because we experienced it when we were on the call, even just in the words that you were using. But it's also up in here. And what I mean up in here is that you're very claircognizant. So I'm going to tell you, if you connect with that claircognizance of, and I don't want to share what we had in our session because I do remember it was so much fun. But, um, you know, a lot of the verbiage that you used during that time was, I knew, or I know, or I knew this is what it is. The moment that we knew, know, or anything like that, we are so tapping into our claircognizance. So I actually am being like, I'm hearing to encourage you to go into that space of knowing. Sorry if I forgot this. Do you journal? Do we talk about this?
I am right now. Because
Perfect.
also, Kelly, you told me that my twin's energy was coming back, and what has been revealed to me is it's coming back more literally than you can imagine, which I
Mhm.
will send you an email about. But yeah, so I've
Yes,
been
please
journaling
do.
a lot.
Yes. So when you're journaling, you are also connecting with spirit, whether you know it or not. So that is one of your, I'm going to say that's one of your many gifts that you have is in your own writing. And so two things are coming in. One, pay attention. Like when you go back and read it, notice how when you're writing you have the I know, I think, and then watch for the things of I believe, because that's also an indication of whether there's a block or not. Okay, so when you fill into that belief, is it flowing or is there resistance? If there's resistance, then there's an underlining belief that you need to go in and be like what is this untruth that I have? um the other thing is that as like a practice to really step into that claircognizance that you have is even when you journal, even as irrelevant as it may seem, you could, write, I know I have a dog. I have a dog. That's why I say that. He just popped his head up. I know I have a dog. I know that I am loving. I know that today is whatever the day is. I want you to do that, because then what you are telling yourself on a soul level and on an energetic level is that you trust your knowing. And I'm going to tell everybody, just so you know, we trust all the time. Like we always talk about, oh, trusting is so hard, but it really isn't, because we trust in the things that we doubt. So if we say I'm not able to do that, what you're saying is I'm trusting in this statement. We need to turn that trust around into trusting the opposite of that statement of I trust that I connect with spirit every single day. Does that make sense? Because we, again, whatever we put our trust in, whether it is good or bad, we are then holding on to whatever that belief is. And then we're trusting that that belief is our truth, when in all reality, it's not. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you so, so much.
You're welcome. It's so good to see you. Thank you for
I know
joining.
I'll email you, Kelly, because there's been a lot of developments. But
Oh,
thank you.
I can't wait. I can't wait. Yes, please do.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you, Pamela. And and yeah, also thank you very much, Kelly. We have a question from Annette. Are different timelines various fragments of our various souls?
So, ooh, that one can be a very complex way of connecting, of answering, but I'm gonna check my guides on this one. So the answer to that is no. So every timeline that we move on, believe it or not, so we come from one source, right? We are one spark, whatever it is that you're wanting to call this. Hold on, I'm going to try to translate this because I'm getting a really vivid picture. So we come from the best way I can describe, imagine that you're this ball of energy. This ball of energy is you, it's you all the time. Okay. When you're connecting to the different timelines, you're still connecting into that one source. So imagine being this ball of energy, and what we're doing is we're projecting our soul onto those different timelines. That's why we can be anywhere and everywhere all at once, because it's all projections that are coming from that one soul. Or a lot of times people call it the oversoul, and the oversoul, it has all of these different viewpoints and experiences it wants to have. We're part of that oversoul, and really what we're doing is we express that energy through our soul, again expressing that energy through our physical body. So truthfully, we live in an illusionary world. So if we're going to live in an illusionary world, the way that we live in it is being a projection of whoever it is that we're choosing to be in that moment. I hope that made sense. Because it's very complicated in the way they were showing it to me, um but it's true. That's why, again, I go back to we can be here in this moment, we can be here, there, and everywhere all simultaneously, because it's all a projection that's coming from that one. I say that nice ball of energy, but because I think that's the easiest way to be able to visualize it. But we're really projections of source, and we're just expressing it in any way. So when you jump on that other timeline, you're a projection of that soul expressing it through your physical. Honestly, we're expressing it through our physical bodies.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. And it's yours. Yes, thank you so much.
Okay, good. I'm all cool.
And yeah, there is feedback on YouTube about the activation. I didn't read it. Ireta, she wrote, Monsef, your guest is just amazing. And Moaka, she wrote, wow, Kelly, that was so intense, with the heart and the stars on it. And yeah, so let's take our next caller, Miriam. Can you please unmute?
Oh,
Miriam?
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. It would pop up, and as soon as it would pop up, I would hit the wrong thing on the screen and it would go away. Okay. Sorry. And thank you. And wow, that activation that you did was amazing to me. I was able to tap right in with that and really feel into it. And I look forward to doing that again for sure.
oh, awesome.
So I would love to hear, I feel like my spirit is so light and bright, and my body's been going through a lot, and I know that it can be well, and I know that I can be living this life that feels even more fulfilling. So I would love to hear what my my soul, my light would like to share with me at this time that allows that to be easier for me to walk that out.
Are you, so just so that I'm clear, so I know what I'm asking, it's coming in as like almost like you're having a second awakening. I'm like, maybe I don't need to ask a question, but yeah, your body is having a hard, like, and I don't mean this like, oh my God, it's so hard, but I could feel like your energy, like your vibration is raising. So your body is having a difficult time holding that energy. Is that how it feels? Because
No,
I was gonna say I'm clearing a lot for you. The moment that you clicked on, I've been clearing a lot. Like I've been burping like crazy. So
oh wow, yeah, thank you. No, the second awakening I could definitely see because I literally just stepped into a different environment that is much more liberating for me than what I've been through recently, and a lot that I've been cultivating is able to come online more, or I can even start to walk it out. The body's been challenged for most of my life, and
okay.
so and in a very deep, intense way. And then I was recently in a really bad car accident, which created a bunch of injuries on top of that. Yet I've always felt that I can step into the quantum, and a lot of that can shift easily, effortlessly, and quickly. So I'm welcoming my soul, my team to share how I can best align, enjoy that.
Yeah, so I can feel it that it has been a struggle. I'm like, I knew you're stepping into your second awakening. I could feel it. So you need to understand that a lot of times when that happens, we have like when we I'm gonna call it level up. When we level up quickly, the body can have reactions to it. Okay. So here I kind of want to change your perspective because you said that you were just in a bad accident. Remember, we reflect out what is in our outer reality. So as I feel into that accident, I'm gonna say like this is like the way that it's coming in is that that's like almost like because we can coast through an awakening, we can begin to move through it, and then something goes like that, right? And so then it shakes the awakening. So I really feel if you to go into that quantum, you can heal that. But I feel like the question that you need to ask I'm going to say your mind and body, because your soul knows the answer to this. Why am I resisting bringing this beautiful energy into my physical being? Because what's happening is that the resistance, and there's a belief, I'm going to tell you, everything comes to what we believe about ourselves. There's an underlying belief that's in there that needs to be plucked out, that's saying my body can't handle this. And so now you start moving through that awakening, and what happens is we get into an accident, right? Or like I'm going to tell you, my last awakening, I dropped a really heavy book on my foot and broke two of my toes. Like things like that happen to us. And it's because it could very well be that there's this belief of maybe you had an experience, and I'm going to say it could be in another timeline where the awakening wasn't so pleasant for you. Am I making sense? So
Yes.
there is a belief that's in there, and you can go into that quantum, and do like we did today, experience the different timelines. Show me the timeline, because remember, we're all in parallel realities. Every choice we make splits off, and we're creating another timeline. We're creating another timeline. We are constantly doing that. So there's a timeline that you have out there that's showing that this was just not a good experience for you. Once you connect with that timeline, you can actually almost like walk yourself back to take your energy back out of those frequencies, because that's what you're connecting to, because there's a belief in there that says, oh, I'm not supposed to enjoy this, or I'm not supposed to feel good when this happens. Well, that's not true. Like everything that happens to us as a spiritual being is a positive thing, whether we want to believe that or not, right? If we have a bad experience, we can look at it and be like, okay, that bad experience has now taught me that is not what I want. Thank you so much for showing me that. Do you see what I'm saying? Instead of going, oh my gosh, that happened to me. Why is this happening to me? What's happening? Because if there's something that you truthfully that you believe about yourself that needs to shift. And it's out there. If I can recommend, when you do that timeline, I know that past, present, and future is happening now, but again, we're on linear time. It can kind of help guide you. You need to go something in your past life, if that makes sense. Like you need to address that timeline that is happening now, that's in a past life, because I can see it wasn't so pleasant for you. And so
you mean another timeline of my awakening, coming into an awakening that wasn't pleasant? Yeah,
yes.
I think there's actually been multiple versions of that I've seen.
Yes. And
like many of us experience as a healer sealer, that we've been beheaded or whatever it was by coming into the fullness of our gifts and abilities.
So what's happening is every lifetime, you're not letting that go. So you got to bring to your awareness, even in those lifetimes, like, what was my belief then? Because sometimes we have the belief that we're healers, and I'm saying past lives so we can understand it linearly. But like sometimes we believe that because we're healers, that we're meant to suffer. And that's not true. So whether logically in this life, you may not believe that, but you may still be connecting to those frequencies that say, oh, I'm a healer, I have to suffer. And so it's manifesting in your physical reality, in your physical body. So there you've got it's coming in. My guides are calling it as cleanup. You've got some cleanup that you have to do to literally detach those frequencies from that timeline. So a lot of times what we can do is we can detach our frequencies from that timeline, create or pull in the timeline that is more along what we need and our desires, to collapse the frequencies that are within that timeline. It doesn't make the timeline go away. It's just we're collapsing those frequencies so that we no longer attach to them. Sounds complicated?
No, I think the part, and if this is available for everyone to understand, when we are collapsing those frequencies, what would be an example of that? Just envisioning and feeling it happening differently? Or
yes. Yes, absolutely. Because the way that we create timelines is, honestly, this is why it's so amazing that we're here on Earth, because we have the ability to experience emotions and to experience feeling. And I'm going to say to its fullest extent, right? Whether that's good or bad. And I know we don't like discomfort, but even when you're experiencing something that is so uncomfortable, We can make the choice. Everything is about a choice. So what you can do is you can go back into that timeline, and whether you get all of the details or only you get a few details, you'll know it's the timeline because your frequency will, like, it's like magnetic. It's going to connect right away, even stronger. So you may feel more manifestations in your body as you're going through that. All you need to do is then say, this is not the timeline I want to be connected to. So bring in the timeline where you're happy and you're healthy and you're happy and you're like, I don't have to suffer. Really create that, allow that timeline to come forward to create it, because you want to take those frequencies off of that uncomfortable timeline and attach them to this new timeline. And once you do that, again, you want to remember in the activation, I was like, feel it, embody it, picture it going through every single cell of your body, because that's the way we embody it. And then the moment that you embody it, you'll know that a shift has happened, so that when you go back and maybe when you think about that old timeline, it doesn't have any energy to it. And you're like, yeah, that's not my truth. I don't need it anymore. You can kind of flick it out of the way. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So to kind of bring that back around, so let's say that you wake up one morning and you are having some physical sensations that aren't so pleasant. Acknowledge, yes, okay, I'm having this. It's okay to acknowledge that the frequencies may be trying to start to attach back to that timeline, or even if it's another timeline, and bring yourself centered back into those frequencies of that timeline where you're happy and you're healthy and you're joyful. There's no suffrage going on, and just sit in that. It's like I'm telling you, sitting with our own frequencies is one of the most powerful things that we can do. Whether you're a healer, whether you call yourself a healer, we're all healers because we can heal ourselves, but it is the most powerful thing that you can do. And I'm going to use this as an example. Imagine when you feel like really crappy about something, emotionally. Truth be told, scientifically, and here's my psychology nerd degree coming out, when we experience an emotion, psychologically, the body only experiences it for about anywhere from 15 to maybe 90 seconds. After that, it's gone. We choose to stay in that frequency. So if we go through like a really bad breakup and a year later, we're either still feeling the same way or maybe we're feeling worse, it's our choice to stay in that frequency. We always have a choice to make a different decision. So if I don't want to feel miserable about that breakup, I want to feel happy about what I'm doing. It all goes back to, okay, so what will make me happy? What am I passionate about? Maybe I'm just passionate about sitting here enjoying every bite of my macaroni and cheese. It doesn't matter. Like, that's where my passion is. So while you're sitting there, embody those frequencies of, enjoyment and excitement and all that yumminess of what you're eating, because then it'll start to override those frequencies of, I feel really crappy. I went through this breakup a year ago and now here I am. But you need to bring yourself to the here I am in that moment.
Do you find that more effective than getting up underneath why you would have chosen the less desirable attachment or feelings about an experience or held on to them in that way?
So I'm going to say yes and no.
I mean, people call that shadow work. And I mean, I do feel like we're shifting out of, I know we can shift through joy and the incredible lightness of being, but there's times that I know by feeling into something or getting up underneath that, I mean, there's still reprogramming, right? But yeah, I would love to hear your perspective on that.
So shadow work is all about awareness, right? So if I'm doing shadow work and I'm like, oh, when I was 5 years old, this is what happened to me. The truth is we are now vibrating so quickly that we don't have to sit in those frequencies and be like, oh my gosh, well, exactly why did this happen? Why do I have to recreate it? Everything about our being is about awareness and how we're choosing to be in that moment. So it's okay if it works for you and you want to go back and you want to pull up all that stuff. I'm going to say if that's how that works for your being. But for a lot of times, truthfully, when you're pulling all that stuff up, you're just bringing more stuff into your awareness. So I think the question is, how much of that do I really need in my awareness to make the choice to shift to a different frequency. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like for me, I don't have to sit in all of that. Like I'm aware that it all happened. Maybe, you know, like I can try to bring up a past because like I've healed all that so that I'm no longer that person anymore. But you know, like when my mom used her silent treatment as a form of abuse, I could go through and rehash all of that if I want. But you know what? Now that it's in my awareness, if something triggers me and it connects to that, I go, oh, that's what that's about. My truth is not buried in that experience. My truth is that no, I deserve to be heard. I don't deserve to be ignored. And once I own that as my truth, I've now made the choice to shift those frequencies. So I'm going to tell you, I no longer walk around feeling like I can't, like I'm not allowed to be heard. Like I'm allowed to be heard. What I have to say is just as important as what you have to say and vice versa. So now I walk in that confidence and all it took was a choice. Like I just had to make a choice and I didn't need to rehash all that junk. I already went through it. I experienced it. I know what it was. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
We're so powerful. People, you are so powerful. Bringing it into your awareness truly can be enough with how high we are vibrating, how fast we are vibrating to do that shift. It is
Thank you.
possible. Yeah, you got to believe in the possibilities that are out there and know that nothing is impossible.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Miriam. And also thank you, Katie, for all the answers and guidance. And yeah, so we had other questions, but maybe in the next time we can take them. So thank you very much, Katie, for everything you shared with us today. It was a very inspiring call. Thank you for the guidance you asked to the question you answered from our audience, and also the activation. It was very, very powerful. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Monsa. Thank you, everybody, for allowing me to be part of this entire experience and to be able to experience you. So thank you so much. I have such a grateful heart to all of you. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you again. And everyone, also thank you very much for being here today. Thank you for sharing with us this space, this time, and your beautiful energies. And again, you can sign up for one of the 2 sessions that Kelly is offering to us on the link yourdivineuniqueness.com/Kelly, yourdivineuniqueness.com/Kelly, Kelly. And also you can click on the special offer button, which is on the live events page, later on the replay page. The link also is on YouTube video description and the chat boxes on Zoom and YouTube. And yeah, so with that, everyone, I'm sending you so much love, and I will see you on the next call. Bye-bye, everyone.